Hey, what's up? Welcome to top 5 tips on how to increase your punching power. So right here we got a bob and it's filled up with water up to here. Okay, so if you got one at home, you know how heavy this thing is. I think it's
200, over 200 at least.
Is it?
Yeah, from what I can tell.
Okay, well try to lift it.
No.
Okay, so it's pretty heavy, okay? So I don't know, you can go online and check how heavy this thing is. I don't know exactly. Okay, so with a nice and strong punch, you should be able to deliver your body momentum through the target and be able to knock down this bob. Okay, so I'm just going to demonstrate. Okay. Okay, so notice that I have very minimal body movement. It's very non-telegraphic, and I was able to knock down the bob. That's about 180, 200 pounds or so, okay, over time. So notice that I'm not doing a big wind up. I'm not like starting from here and then moving in like that. Very little body movement, okay? So, okay? So we're gonna show you exactly how to do that. Get really strong attacks and powerful punches. I'm only 135 pounds, so I'm considered a pretty light guy, but people tell me that I hit pretty heavy for my weight, and I'm gonna show you how to do that, okay? Here we go. All right, tip number 5 is having a good stance. Okay, this is very fundamental, but you know what? If you don't have a good stance, you won't be able to deliver power from your legs up to your fists. All right, so let me show you the good stance again. What you want to do is to put your feet together, open up 90 degrees on your heel, open up again on your toe, open up your heel, so that's 3 times, and then now 45 degrees. Okay, and now kind of bounce back and forth, make sure it's nice and comfortable. You should be able to do a nice squat up and down without any stress on your back whatsoever. All right, bend your knees slightly and then shake your hips a little bit back and forth, and it should be nice and comfortable. All right, so that's for your good stance. Make sure that is nice and solid. Make sure that you're not leaning forward and you're not leaning back, and it's a 50-50. Right, your front foot should turn slightly inwards. So if this is straight, it's going to turn slightly inwards like that. Your back foot should be on a 45 degree, like this. Okay, and it shouldn't be straight. It should be on a 45, and it shouldn't be on a 90. Okay, this is a 90, this is straight, you want to be somewhere in the middle. Okay, so you combine those two. Okay, drop your hips, drop your knees, round out your back. Okay, see my back is nice and round, so you see a C shape here from the spine. Okay, that connects your upper body with your legs. It's having this C round back. And then wrap it around. Imagine putting on a backpack and tuck it in like this. And then suck in your gut. Alright, so that's number 5, how to have a good stance. Here's tip number 4 on how to improve the power in your punch. Tip number 4 is to improve your connection to the ground. Why is the ground so important? It's because that's where we want to draw up the energy. Alright, from the ground through our legs. So one good exercise is doing a nice squat. So get into your stance, and from that stance, slowly go down, all the way. Then imagine you're picking up something really heavy, like 2 big buckets of water, and then lift it up while keeping that water nice and heavy. Okay? Now bring it up here, and you should feel a lot more stronger and a lot more solid. Okay, so do that about 5 times. So drop it slowly, drop down. Okay, and then imagine you're picking up 2 buckets of water. Bring it up like this. Now if you're really heavy, you have to imagine it's heavy, right? So if it's heavy, you can't just lift it up with your back. You have to use your whole legs, right? So imagine you're lifting it up. Get your hips underneath so you can lift it up like this. And breathe in, and then go back to your position. Okay, now drop everything. Drop it. Okay, go down slowly. Pick it up. Heavy water. Heavy buckets of water. Now if it's heavy buckets of water, you won't be able to pick it up like this, right? That'll hurt your back. You won't be able to hit it like this because that'll hurt your back too. So you need to have a nice round back, and you need to be nice and straight in order to be able to pick up those heavy buckets of water. Okay, now that you have the position, bring your hands up while keeping the weight of the imaginary water. And now you can feel a lot stronger, okay? So you can even test it out. Do a few punches without doing that, and do 5 of those, and now do a punch. You feel you can move things a lot further than if you didn't do it. Okay? That's a mental exercise, but guess what? It works. Here's tip number 3, how to improve your punching power. We're going to talk about body momentum. Why do you need momentum? Well, if you're a small guy like me, I'm only 135 pounds, and you want to be able to knock out a guy that's twice your weight, you better use your whole body force into your punch, otherwise it won't do any damage at all. Okay? So how do you get the easy way to get body momentum is to actually move your body in the punch. Actually move your whole body. Alright? In boxing, they do a lot of rotation, which is good. And you get nice impact, but you don't get enough momentum to be able to really move something and really shock somebody's body, okay? So what you want to do is you combine the moving of the body with your punch. Okay, how do you do that is you're going to take a step forward, and then we're going to take a step back with your back foot. Okay, so you're going to take a step forward with your left foot, and then as you punch, take a step with your right foot as you punch. Okay, so from the side is one step, like that. It doesn't, make sure it's not a big step like this, otherwise you're going to extend your legs out too far. So it's just a really small step, tiny little half step, then this one goes tiny little half step. So 1, 2, that's it. 1, 2. Okay, and on the 2, we're gonna punch. 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2. 1, 2. So let me demonstrate to you the difference of just the rotation and now with the momentum. With the rotation, it's gonna be like this. Okay, you see there's impact, but the bag doesn't move that much because I didn't transfer my body momentum into it. But with the step, we go. See how much more it moves, and I just moved a little step. All right. Eventually, when you get into higher levels, you can make that step even smaller and still be able to transfer your body weight momentum into your target. So that's tip number 3. Hey, here's tip number 2 on how to increase your punching power. We talked about the body rotation, we talked about using your body momentum, and now we can talk about another really important tip, which is called expansion and contraction. Now, let's just do an exercise, okay? First of all, let's expand our chest as wide as we can go, expand our chest, and then at the same time expand our knees out, so rotate your knees out like that. Okay, and when you do that, you're going to feel your hips expand. Okay, and now also expand your whole legs this way and your chest this way. Okay, now that you've gone as far as you can, now we're going to contract everything. So we're going to suck in our chest like this, let it sink in. We're going to sink in and wrap our shoulders in. Okay, now we're going to suck in our gut like this. And then we're going to squeeze in our knees together, okay? So now we're in a contractor position. All right? And now we're going to expand again. Everything stretches out, chest is expanded, your belly is expanded, your hips are expanded, knees are out. Expand like this. Then we're going to contract again. So pull everything in, sink in the chest, round up your back. Your back goes from here, and then it rounds out. Okay, your back is nice and round, your spine is round, and then you suck in your gut this way, suck it in, the hips go in like that, the knees go in like that, and now you're contracted. Alright, so how does this work? Is we're gonna, remember we take a step to get the momentum. Now when we take a step, we're gonna do the expansion, just like that. Take a step, you're expanded. Okay, so expand it. Now when we do the punch, we're going to contract. Okay, so without the hand movement, it's going to be expansion, contraction. Okay, so step, step, expansion, contraction. All right, so I'll show you on the target how this works. So without the expansion, contraction, let's say we're just doing with momentum, I'm just going to do it lightly, just like that, right? Now we're going to do a little bit with the same amount of force with expansion and contraction. Okay, I didn't use any more force, and you can see that there's more force delivered into the target. Okay, so that's expansion and contraction. Use that and you can get more power in your punches. Hey, here's the final tip on how to increase your punching power. This tip is very, very important. And it is very simple, but it makes a big difference. It's about punching through your target and getting penetration. So what I mean is when you're punching something, your target should be about 6 to 8 inches behind this contact area. All right? Because if you punch here and your contact area, your mind is just focused on the surface, you're just going to be able to hit the surface, and that won't get enough damage to make the person feel it. So when you're punching, you want to imagine that the contact point and the target is actually 6 to 8 inches behind the contact point. Okay? So, like that. Okay? And that will get you a lot more damage and a lot more power in your punches.